Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Wolf, and I'm going to help out the blue Protoss YeeP with some Starcraft advice versus his opponent green Protoss. Let arrows fly. Zelnagar Caverns. I saw this replay on the new SC that we've been using, the Pro boards, and I was actually going to give advice on this replay last night, but I ran out of time because I was just working on the Fallout stuff, which is actually coming along really nicely. Drast is giving great advice on that. And this is, in all honesty, a gold YeePs versus his opponent, Diamond. The green Protoss is now Diamonds. And so I'll be giving advice on how you could improve your play, YeeP, and how green could improve his play, because they both made a lot of mistakes. So, and who doesn't like Protoss? I love Protoss. They're the best. You guys say it with me. Terran suck. Zerg suck. Protoss rule. Even if you're Zerg or Terran, just start saying it, you know? You'll feel better about it. Building up a little bit of minerals already. Probably could really afford to spend that on a guy. It's not really build up minerals, I'm just messing with you guys. Yeah, just starting off the game. I just hit 101 subscribers, I think. I mean, unless some people unsubscribed. I noticed that in my history, I have had one person unsubscribe, so I'm very sad about that. I'm like, what did I do to make you angry, buddy? He's like, you're a Catholic now. They're annoying. I'm like, well, sorry. Sorry about that. Yep, so I think I just hit over 100 subscribers, and I'm so proud of you guys. Hitting that subscribe button really makes my life a better place. I like people seeing my videos, even though the hate is so strong, you know. See what I think, your videos are dumb. I'm like, well, sorry about that. I don't care. Oh man, just watching this Protoss is so cool. Green going Assimilator before Gateway. Actually can be part of builds. Most of those builds involve Phoenix or Void Race though, which is kind of dangerous to do. You could also go Dark Templar or High Templar, but that's usually getting gas after is actually safer anyway. So getting Cybernetics after the gas, we can see how delayed it's going to be. Wait. You always get Cybernetics after gas. What am I saying? I'm just high today. They're actually probably about the same, yeah. It's been a while for me since I played a game. Ignore what I said. Ignore what I said. If you get 2 gases before Cybernetics, then everything I said applies, but he only got 1. I don't know why I ignored the other gas guys. Or clearly we're not playing Brood War. There are 2 gas assimilators today. Man, you guys' face palms are so hard right now, I can feel them. I do think YeePs is a little bit earlier though, and you can see his gateway is getting done faster. Gonna go to 2 gates right now, building up a little bit of gas, but not that bad, not at this point in the game. Ooh, Stalker first. Gonna get the Stalker. It's actually pretty important for Protoss versus Protoss games that most players will skip a Zealot and go straight to a Stalker, because the Stalker can kill the scouting probe. Not much else can until that Stalker comes out, and obviously you don't want to show what tech you're doing before you don't want to show what tech you're doing, you want to hide it. So we have 3 gateways going down, and then Arrows is going to see that, so that's good for him. But you can see how YeePs has got his 3 gateways going on, and he's also getting a robotics. So as soon as he killed the scouting probe, he built the robotics bay. Make sure you guys, that's a little hint for you. And Arrows actually delayed his by quite a bit for that same reason. So now he's actually going to go 2 gateway, 2 robotics, and there's actually a build I like doing against Terran that I've never showed. 1 gate, 2 robotics, 4 immortal push against Terran. It's really fun, especially if they go like just Marauders or tanks. Marauders are overpowered. Well, I'll just master Marauders. I'm like, lol, slice. The girls' room. You guys, I kill you when I say that stuff, don't I? What an interesting placement for that gateway. Apparently it works though. Let's morph. Go Power Rangers. Green Lantern, that's the guy I was thinking about when I did that a while back. Building up some Nexus energy could really help to, you know, if he had done this, it would be better to do it again. And then of course Immortals, they're so expensive, but they're awesome. Both players going Immortal before Observer, which is kind of strange. I guess they feel kind of safe knowing what their opponent is doing. Although a little bit of scout fail for both players, this is actually really critical. If YeeP saw Arrows going 2 robotics, he could actually just go Stargate and win right there. I mean, getting a Void Ray out, that would beat these guys up. Of course, you're going to be a little bit lighter on the Immortals, which is fine, but you need to make sure you're a little bit heavier on the zealots. So that's really important. When you warp in units, stalkers feel good, but you'll need zealots at a lot of the time. So look at your army. Is it missing zealots? Probably need to warp in more. Because zealots are awesome. I love zealots. I dropped my thing I'm playing with in my hand. Where'd you go?
I don't even know where it went. Okay, I'll probably step on it and hurt myself.
So, Arrows is going to go Immortal Heavy, and therefore YeePs must make sure not to go too Stalker Heavy, or out Immortal his opponent. On one Robotics, you're not going to be doing that. He does have the Observer going downtown, though, before his opponents will be. And so, unfortunately, this is kind of ironic that you don't want to be in this position. That's why I think both Protoss players... I am looking for the thing, I'm sorry. That's why I think both Protoss players went for Immortal before Observer, because you actually want your Observer to spawn second, and you want your opponent to see your stuff, and then you can kill his Observer and then go scout. There's obviously advantages and disadvantages to that, but if the Observer was over in his base, you shoot it, suddenly your opponent can't see what you could be doing in the future. Well, your Observer is alive and well. So, YeePs is YeePs. Splitting up the army, never very wise, but I don't think it's going to matter here. Also, not good unit positioning, but it's worse for Arrows, so it actually didn't matter too much. He needs to make sure you use the Guardian Shield, and actually could really use to fall back and get more Zealots. You guys can see how the Zealots are taking the damage really well, but now the Immortals are focus firing the Stalkers like they want to be. Fortunately, though, Zealots destroy Immortals. That's just why most people don't use Immortals, because they destroy. Warping in, this is exactly opposite of what you want to do. If this was 3 Stalkers, or 3 Zealots, and you chrono boosted out 3 more, you could just push and win right there. You could also switch to air, and that would win you the game, but of course switching to air can be very dangerous against Dark Templar if you're not careful. Just grab the expansion, got one guy mining gas. I always love when my probes do that. Making Immortals still hasn't teched up yet, so there it is though. Going to get the okay. I really hate when that happens. It's a good thing you caught it though. So we have Arrows who's sticking kind of to Immortals, and Colossus actually do pretty well against Immortals. In one-on-one fights, which aren't that common, the Colossus will win because they can kite them so easily. If they were just to fight though, I think Immortals would actually win, because Immortals have hardened shields, which reduce the damage by 33.3 repeating %, and they do additional damage to them, you know, 50, 50, 50. I think Immortals may lose, but of course, cost per cost, 2 Immortals will beat an Immortal. 2 Immortals will beat a Colossus. So we got Green pushing out again. Not enough Zealots, to tell you the truth, but his he's got plenty of Immortals. I mean, he can two-shot Stalkers. Unfortunately, one more Immortal would really make this, because then he could just one-shot a Stalker and move on to the next one. And Guardian Shield is actually not what he needs. If he used the pylon of YeePs to his advantage and used force fields on the sides of it, he could protect himself from the Zealots. It would actually have made the push enough to win. Warping in more Zealots to help the fight will be able to push this back just fine. I think Green is macro failing at this point in the game. Yes, he is. And YeePs is doing a better job staying on top of it overall. Could use a fresh supply. Gonna start seeing the Colossus come out. Yes, I've got good timing. I'm sexy. And the extended thermal lance. So, woo. And now he's definitely ahead of his opponent. I mean, in Protoss versus Protoss, the state of the game right now, you want Colossus. And so, I mean, he's ahead of an expansion, and he's ahead of tech. So that means you're ahead of the game right now. You should feel good. You see him with a lot of Immortals. He's probably, unless he's expanded, which would put him kind of the same spot as you. You got Colossus coming out. You got an expansion. He just lost his push. You're in a good spot. What else is going on, though? Getting 2 more gateways, so we're going to see more of a gateway-heavy army. Needs to get Colossus, though. I mean, Stalkers and Zealots by themselves won't cut it against Colossus, who are very sexy, by the way. And if you had gone Stargate versus not Colossus, Stargate versus Robotics earlier, Void Rays in the future and Phoenix are okay against Colossus. And I kind of didn't say that right. Void Rays are good against Colossus right now. In the future, they'll be great against Colossus. Phoenix actually do okay. There is using the Protoss one-on-one build with Immortals and Phoenix and Zealots is actually kind of effective against what most Protoss do nowadays. Although I don't like Phoenix very much. Even after they're being buffed, I still don't like them. They're probably my least favorite Protoss unit. And then I don't like Void Rays very much. I don't like motherships and I don't like carriers. So you guys can see I don't usually go Protoss air. Although I do like Void Rays okay. They're kind of cool. Go on Forge. Good to see some upgrades. Good to see on top of your upgrades because, you know, take away a Zealot and a Sentry and add 1 armor to your troops and you know the difference. There is a big one. Building up a little bit silly amount of Chrono Boost, but definitely needs more minerals. It's that's the transferring right there. So as soon as they start hitting this place up, it will feel better for him. Blue, on the other hand, is doing a great job saturating both of his bases pretty evenly. Just making Colossus and getting +1 weapons there. Another gateway, building up a little bit of minerals and gas, so I wouldn't be surprised to see an expansion soon. I think Scout fail. Let's take a look. I probably clicked the wrong button. Yes, I did. I want this button. Scout fail. That is bad, Scout fail. You need to make sure you stay on top of your opponent a little bit better than that. Like I said, 8 minutes, guys. That's definitely the time you want to scout what your opponent is doing. 2, on the other hand, is doing just about as poor, though. He doesn't know his opponent's got Colossus. He doesn't even technically know he's got a robotics facility, even though, of course, he sees the Immortals. And he did see that. I don't know how he saw that, though. Must have been an unlucky probe. There's some Chrono Boost building up, too. Unfortunately, if one of your Nexus has energy, the other one probably is full. That's just something that how Protoss works, unfortunately for us. Getting the Robotics Bay, yes, and the Forge. So both players starting to mirror each other, but you can see how YeeP is way ahead of it, because he's just... I mean, he's ahead of it. He's ahead of the game. Ahead of the game right now. Is it never looking at him, Is it never looking? I guess technically I'm kind of writing a novel. I'm what is Icefing up to, guys? Let's talk a little bit about me. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't need to tell myself that. I'm cool. I know it. Dras and I have been working on Fallout D&D. So you can play it on the tabletop and you can actually make maps and stuff instead of having to wait for New Vegas add-ons to come out. And you can play classic Fallout the way it's meant to be played. Oh, +1 weapons is getting completed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see +1 armor next, since he doesn't have a Twilight Council. Getting a lot of Colossus, and now green is just finally getting an extended thermal lance. So if you actually hit now, you'd probably be able to win. He's got no Colossus. The only thing that's really got his win right here is that he's so well spread out, and of course he's prepared for it. But yeah, Dras and I've been working on the Fallout D&D. I've named it the VEST system, Vault Tech Experience Simulator. Don't know about how good the name is. I'll be working on it. And if you guys have ever read Dungeons & Dragons 3rd Edition's rule book, which you probably could look it up and see parts of it, I've read the whole damn thing. I am basing its style similar to that. So I'm writing a textbook right now. Woo! Although I think the special system is a lot easier to understand than the D20 system. And I know some of you guys are like, uh-huh, and other guys are like, shut up, this is Starcraft. Stop talking about your nerd stuff. I'm like, yo, dude. Yo, dog. No, no. I mean, I don't mind if you queue up some things, but not Colossus. That one was okay, I guess, but never queue up Colossus. They cost so much. It's like, oh, well, there's a part of my army not even there. Losing another observer. Let's go look at the units lost. I haven't looked at that yet. You can see how Blue's in the lead. That's free expansions for him. He's ahead now in terms of expansions. He's ahead of tech. He's ahead of everything except for... I'm trying to find the tab. I should probably look at because I know they're moving forward. You know what he's behind in? Let's take a look. He doesn't have 5. He's got 9 zealots. Where are they? This is where you guys should be pointing at the screen saying, they're in the back of the army. Not good. The Green's positioning is perfect. I mean, he's got Stalkers who can hit both sides. He's got Immortals and Zealots well sprout, and he's got his Colossus able to hit everything. That is purely what is going to help out Green in this engagement. If YeeP was a little bit more focused on his army positioning and had his Zealots in front right now, that would be curtains for him. He's using the force fields too, which will actually really help out. I hope those aren't YeeP's. I think those are YeeP's force fields. That's really not good. I mean, force fields can be good, guys, but don't just use them because they're there. You need to make sure that you're using them efficiently. So falling back, lost a lot of Zealots in that engagement. Now he's kind of balling up his Immortals. And so the Immortals are actually going to do really well here. Like I said, you need more Zealots in this army. A little less Stalkers, a little more Zealots probably would be better here. Sentries actually are kind of worthless in this situation. I mean, the Guardian Shield will reduce Zealots damage. It will do fine. But realistically, having just Immortals, Zealots, and Colossus here would be probably, if not more, about as effective. Blue's getting charged though, so that's a good thing. Who doesn't like charge? Charge is sexy. It makes zealots the dirty meat shield into the tasty, yummy meat shield. Getting +2 weapons. Very wise, as I say. The robotics units are very heavily influenced by the upgrades. So, I mean, we'll see the Colossus got a +4 damage increase. Immortals have +5. And so you can see how his units are spread out here. Unfortunately, the Zealots aren't in front. And that's oh, there they are, actually. They are in front. So you can see how they're taking so much damage and how, if you look at the army right now, this hasn't really been hit. The core stuff hasn't been hit. What's left? Well, the Zealots are all taking the damage right now. Now the Zealots are dead. So what do you got left? You got this and versus this. Who's going to win? Well, these guys are kind of tight, bunched up, and there's a Colossus getting free shots on it. So you want your Colossus focus firing things right now because it's fighting Immortals. And you could actually win this. With some micro, it'd be very easy to win this because all you got to do is, you know, click and fall back. 2 more Colossus coming out, though, is going to actually change that game. Good thing you fell back. LetArrowsFLY just having his guys sitting there. Who's in the lead now? Who's in the lead? Units lost. Green is still behind by a good amount. So you're still in the lead. You're ahead in expansion even though it's not well saturated. The big thing is your macro fail. That's all there is right now. 3,000, 1,300. You know, you guys can read. Versus this number here. Green is staying on top of his macro extremely well. Blue, yeps, you need to work on your macro a little bit as the game progresses. I know it can be difficult to macro up while attacking, but something like, poor Immortal, like this proxy pylon here, if you had warped in 4 Zealots, and then Chrono Boosted out 4 more, and then Chrono Boosted out 4 more, you could have easily won that engagement. And then of course you wouldn't be macro failing very bad comparison. But both players falling back, building 4 gateways, seeing the build of minerals, very wise actually. Warp gates are the best kind of sync there is, I'd say. I mean, a lot better than hatcheries. I need to make more units.
3 armor. I only got 3 armor right now.
Okay. I'll make 7 with queens. Arrows. Where's your zealots, man? I know players will generally A, make fun of Icefang because he's got like a zealot fetish. B, say zealots become useless as Colossus come out. That's kind of true. But like fighting mass Thors, how do you beat them? Well, don't let them mass Thors. It's the same deal. I mean, of course, both players are going to start massing up Colossus, making zealots less effective. But like I always say, 1 zealot in front of your army means a lot more than 0 zealots in front of your army. Like 10 Colossus versus 1 zealot, they'll all shoot it. And then the very first volley of Colossus shots is gone. Your army's the same minus a zealot. Their army's minus 5 Colossus for a second. Yeah, zealots are sexy. There's a reason for that. Oh, green, your macro is excellent. Blue, you are catching up though. Let's change. Go, go, warp gate power. Go, go, warp gate power. Look, it's tic-tac-toe in the middle there. X. I put an X in the middle, guys. What does that mean? I'm going to win. I always win tic-tac-toe, or I never lose would be the correct way to say it. I've never lost a game of tic-tac-toe in my life. But then, of course, one of you is going to leave some smart-ass comment like,
Ever played 3D tic-tac-toe?
I'm like, no. If it exists, I'm not going to. Stick to 2D. Pushing out Colossus on 2. Should be able to keep his gas down with that. Actually, using these warp gates, interesting. As a mineral itch my eye. Sync would be good. Of course, with a build of Chrono Boost. Yes. Although, I have to give you good commendment for this. You're technically macro failing because you have this entire base full. But since only one of them... You're using your hotkeys well. I have to say that I'm very impressed with how well you're doing there. And should warp in some units. Needs to really... maybe he's playing like I do. He only has to warp them in groups of 8, so... warping it... oh, it's because of the supply blockage there. So warping in some units, warping in some pylons. Needs to expand, to tell you the truth. He really needs to expand because he's got a bunch of idle probes right now. Gold would actually be a really good target, especially because his opponent is trying to expand to the gold. Problem, Protoss fags, not enough zealots. And now his unit positioning is getting really poor. I mean, you don't want the stalkers out by a lot, otherwise they'll just get roasted. Roasty toasty. Roasty toasty. What's that from? Let's engage closer to the game, guys. I want you to just wipe your face across the screen like sexual. Hello, hello, subscriber. Press the subscribe button again. Battle Strider with a powerful area attack can step up and down cliffs, can be targeted by anti-air weapons. I wish my Colossus was shorter. Engagement. Engagement and danger. What is it? Does he have a river over here? Okay, so you guys can see the Colossus are attempting to focus fire things. Not good. I mean, they're focus firing the Zealots that are right in their grills. And now all these units are up here are able to take free shots while this is dying. So even though Green's macro is staying way on top of Blue's, his lack of Zealots are actually what's killing him. So, good attempt to fall back, but spoiler alert, I don't think he's got much longer left to go. Look at those beautiful Colossus. They're so cool. Oh my god. That was purely because of his lack of Zealots. If he had more Zealots in the army, he would have done better. And so, once again, guys, look at the army. Same as before, minus the Zealots. They did their job just right. Green, how you doing? Not so good. Nexus, how you doing? A lot worse. Okay, that kind of tickles my tongue.
Why so serious?
Oh, Green, you're so boned right now. I mean, see, it's just unit composition wasn't something that Green must have learned in kindergarten class. His buildup of minerals is way less than yours, Jeffs, but that's the big thing here. You played really well this game. I have to give you commendment for what you've learned watching my channel, because you couldn't learn it anywhere else. Day 9 is a fool. Yo, dog. Day 9 sucks. Husky's where it's at. Husky's real. But look at this, how cool these immortals are. They're like tanking the damage, like, fuck this shit. Boom, bitch. So cool. So, I'm going to give you a spoiler, guys. Blue wins the game. Ooh, I spoiled it like with a couple minutes left. I'm such a silly goose. They're just sitting there. Nice. GG. How'd you get so many Colossus? I bet he's going to ask. How'd you get so many Colossus? Colossi. He's probably just going to call him Coli. I'm not even sure about that. Say it, bitch. Colossi. I guess I was right the very first time I just said it. It's actually Colossi with 2 S's and a U in there, I think, but whatever. 2 Robo. So did you. It wasn't because he lost so many. It's because in the engagement, they were all being shot at. Like I say, guys, Protoss Tier 3 units. Weak per cost, high damage. Don't want them being shot. That's what Zealots are for. God, Protoss is so cool. Let's enjoy this slaughter while it goes. Spoiling it again, Green is about to lose. Oh, arrows. So, we just watched a gold beat a diamond. You know why that is? Because my goal is diamonds. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your views.